Everyone, welcome back. This is Professor Hall. So today we're going to look at how to get into DegreeWorks, and we'll talk about why you want to use DegreeWorks and how it can help you be successful. So the way that you get to DegreeWorks, again, we talked about going through the portal. You're going to click on My SCCC right here. Then we're going to, I have slow internet, so I've opened them up already up here. Then you're going to go into this banner self-service. And when you do that, mine looks a little bit different, but you'll have this DegreeWorks audit right here. And when you click that, you can get right into DegreeWorks. Okay, so this is one of my advisees. I've covered up their information so that you can't see it, but you'll see basically how this is set up. Your student name and ID are here. Your degree is here. If you have more than one degree, you can click on that. So a lot of people might be taking 2 majors, or they might have finished a degree and now they're starting another one. The program is listed right next to it. The last audit, we'll talk about what that means, what that is, and then your basic information right here, your student name, ID, what degree you're in, your major, your academic standing, your overall GPA, your advisor, and then your advisor has their advisor PIN as well. So all of your information is kind of up at the top. If you've taken any placement tests, they're right underneath that. And then here you have a bar that has your degree progress. So if you're wondering, like, how far along am I? It shows you the basic percentage of how many requirements you've completed already. It's kind of nice because you can say, oh, look, I'm at 57%. I'm more than halfway there. Or, hey, I just started out and I'm at like 10% or 30%, whatever the case may be. So running an audit basically means that you are going to look to see whether you are on track for graduating. And when you do your audit, what you're going to do is kind of look through. You can see here the courses that are completed have the green check mark. The courses that are not still says still needed. There are some where you have a couple different courses that you can take. But basically the information here will be showing you what is required that you haven't completed yet, graduation review, major requirements, if your GPA is a little low, all of that information is right underneath your personal information, and then we see your list of classes. So I've scrolled down a little bit. You can see for this person's program, they need 62 credits. They only have 31 and they still need 31. So they're about halfway there, right? As I said, the ones with the green check are the things that they've already taken. In red are the things that you still need. And then there's also things in blue that say in progress. We don't have that for this student because this is a former student, I think, or I can't show you that part of what they're taking right now. I just paused for a second there. Yeah. So I'm just showing you this, but you'll see for this, for example, there are some courses like college composition where there's just one class, right? That's a requirement. There are other classes where you have what's called an elective. That means that you have a number of different classes that you can pick. Sometimes people think that an elective means pick whatever class you want, but that's not really the case. As you see here with this student, we have a science elective. So the DegreeWorks is telling them that they can do astronomy, biology, chemistry, geology, environmental science, physics, which one is this one? Intro to materials. So there's a number of different classes. They're all science courses. And then the same thing here, foreign language, they took American Sign Language, but other foreign languages would be listed there. Okay, so you can always click on a class to find out more about it. So if this one is a required class for this person and it tells you how many credits it is, tells you the name, and then there's the course description. So it can be very helpful, especially when you do have those electives where you're choosing things. So I've just clicked over here. One of the electives for this program is Criminal Justice 215. When I click on that, it shows me, oh, it's juvenile delinquency. I didn't know the name of that class before. So now I know it's juvenile delinquency, 3 credits. Does that sound like something I want to take? Well, if you notice here, it's only offered in the fall. So this person might say, hey, I need one more class for this restrictive elective. This juvenile delinquency class looks really good, but I can't take it this spring, so maybe I'll take a different class for a different requirement. And all of your requirements are showing on here. In a moment, I'm going to show you also your curriculum worksheet, which is a little bit of a different view of these classes. But in DegreeWorks, you can go through, you can look at what classes you need, what classes you've taken. We also have SUNY general education requirements. That means that if you are thinking about transferring to a 4-year school, or if you're graduating from this school, those are the classes that SUNY says that you need to have for your program. We also have here unused courses, any class that you took that does not count toward your major. So for example, if you start off in criminal justice and then you switch over to culinary, you might have a number of criminal justice classes that aren't going to be used for culinary. But you'll still have some general education requirements. So those are some basic things that all college students need to take. Here you can see mathematics, communication, social sciences, civilization, arts, and foreign language. So a lot of our programs will have those general education requirements. And typically when you transfer to a 4-year school, if that's part of your plan, your gen eds, that's what we call them, gen eds, your gen eds will be out of the way, and then you can just focus on your major courses. Underneath unused courses are classes with insufficient grades. So that's any class that you had an F for or that you withdrew from. It does not show you any class that you dropped. So I have a little bit of information for you in our course today about the difference between a drop and a withdraw. Underneath that are, again, things that don't apply to your degree or certificate if you have anything with an insufficient grade. And then at the very bottom, I've covered this up just so that you don't see who talked about this student, but the notes section is for when you talk to your advisor. So they will put notes in there like the student is going to be taking math, English, psychology, and a foreign language this semester. Or they'll say this student is thinking about moving from part-time to full-time. So notes like that just to help you remember what you talked about. One of the great features of DegreeWorks is the what if button. And that is over here on the left underneath the worksheet. So the worksheet is basically, again, showing you what classes you've taken, what classes you need, and what classes are in progress. Shows you your GPA and what grades you have gotten in each course. What classes you might need to take again if you've withdrawn or if you did not pass, and any classes that don't count toward your degree, and then any notes from your advisor. So that's all on the worksheet. The what if button, I'm going to click that right now. Okay, so I couldn't do this without having the person's name and information show, but basically you have your degree already here, that this person had an AS in Human Services that they're working on. So we have the degree, we have the catalog year, and then you pick a program from the drop-down list. So all of the programs at our school come up, and you can see that I've picked this one, liberal arts teacher education. So I'm going to process a what if and then see what happens. Okay, so in this case, the person actually was in this major of teacher education before they switched to human services, and you can see that their degree progress is much further along, right? So last time we saw it was at 57%, now it's at 71%. So if they wanted to change their major back, they would actually be ahead of things because more of the classes that they took are going to count for that major. But what happens if they're going to switch to something like in a completely different division with classes that they've never taken before? How long will it take them to graduate? So this time, the program that I picked from the drop-down list is biotechnology. And again, I'm going to process this what if by pressing this button right here. Okay, so this time if I look down at the degree progress, I can see that it's only 44%, which means that that might take extra time. So instead of the year that the student planned on being here, it might take a year and a half, or it might take summer courses. So I always think that this is a really useful tool. You can see now as I scroll down how many classes are still needed, right? They've taken first year seminar, they've taken college composition, and then they have all of these biology and chemistry classes that they would need to take. All of them are showing up as still needed, so that's why it would take them quite a bit of time to complete the degree. But you can also see that these general education requirements, those things that almost every student is going to need, all of those are already checked off. So it really would be the biology, the chemistry, the statistics, the calculus, those classes that are really specific to that major. And ultimately, this is why DegreeWorks is such a great tool for you to use. You can see really quickly, if you're thinking about changing your major, what courses would be required, what classes you already have, what classes you would need, and how long it would take you to complete those classes. You can also see the grade that you received, how many credits you have, and whether you're on track for graduation. Now, another view, going back to the college website, another view of your degree requirements can be found online through the academics. So we're going to go to liberal arts, and we're going to look at academic programs. And let's just take a look at the regular liberal arts program. Okay, if you notice, once you get to wherever your program is, they're all on the left. All the different concentrations are right there. And over here on the right, we have the degree plan. So the degree plan is basically like the paper version of what we saw in DegreeWorks. You might see this when you're with your academic advisor, or you might have a teacher print it out, or you can print it out yourself. This is just a little bit of a different view showing you all the different requirements. So for liberal arts, we have 2 English classes, first year seminar, and then some choices for history, making sure that you pick the right combination. Literature electives, behavioral science, etc. Now you notice these little, I'm going to zoom in here. There we go. You'll notice that you have these little letters here. They will scan down, and then the letters are also here. So it's telling you, hey, for this, you can take art, drama, or music. Any of those courses would work for that particular requirement. For this one, you can take anthropology, psychology, or sociology. So the notes are pretty clear. The recommended sequence of classes is on the back of the sheet as well. And this, I think, is really helpful because it's not showing you this in DegreeWorks. But there are certain programs at our school where, as you saw, I demonstrated before, there's some classes that are only taught in the fall or only taught in the spring. So it's kind of important to know that. For this major, things are, there's some things in sequence, like you have to take college composition before you can take literature and writing. So if this seems or looks confusing, it's okay. Your advisor will lead you through it, and you can always meet with a teacher in your program as well to kind of talk about what some of your options are. I'm going to take a look at one more real quick just to kind of show you. This one's the history concentration for liberal arts. It's also nice too, if you are thinking about changing your major, you can really see quickly at a glance. This is not the worksheet I wanted. There we go. So this is the psychology concentration. But if I'm thinking about changing my major to psychology, I can see really quickly, okay, I'd be taking statistics for social sciences, intro to psych, abnormal psych, social psychology, and then some electives in psychology, right? As opposed to if I'm thinking about taking the English concentration, my classes are going to look a little bit different. So I have literature and identity, major genres, surveys, and then the regular electives. But you'll see that a lot of these worksheets kind of look the same. There are the general education requirements. There are the things for your major, the courses that you're taking for your concentration, and then there are your electives. So those are the classes where you have a little bit of a choice of what you can take. So I hope that this explained, at least in an introductory way, how to use DegreeWorks, how to read a curriculum worksheet, and we'll talk more about this later in the semester when we talk about exactly how you pick out your classes.